Good morning, Commissioners. Real quickly, out at the airport, a couple things are going on. We have completed the electrical upgrade to the airport. We actually came in, the contractor came in $32,000 under budget. We have two glide slope, what's called PAPI lights that were not part of the original contract. Because we came in under budget, we'd like to utilize the rest of that grant to pay for that. So we have a resolution for you on that for your, at your approval, that we use the reduction of the original contract amount to pay for this.
Is
new equipment.
DOT approved that?
Yes, sir. DOT approved, and they sent us the resolution.
Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley, second by Commissioner Jones, to allow you to expend those funds in that fashion.
Thank you. Secondly, I'm sorry.
Any other comments from the
Sorry.
board? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Proceed.
Secondly, the airfield drainage improvements that are currently going on is going well. The contract is on schedule to be completed in early January. The commercial access road is still going on, and AVCON is working with some agencies to mitigate the wetland impact that they have. Hopefully they can get that finalized soon, and we can advertise the project for bid. The economic development plan that was being done by Beth Kirkland, she is going to set up a meeting with you all to make a presentation, hopefully in November, because we want to get that economic development done by the end of the year. So as far as any of the grants that's going on at the airport, that's what we have going on currently. And before I move to the FBO side, are there any questions about that?
Any comments from the board? Proceed.
Okay. As you know, November 1st, Crystal Air's contract with the county is expiring, and so we did an RFQ process for a new FBO. We had 13 contact me personally for due diligence. We only had 2 that submitted RFQs. Of those 2, you selected a review committee to rank those. We ranked those. I presented that back to you our last meeting, and I entered into lease negotiations with Centric Aviation. We have a lease agreement that Mr. Schuler has revised and approved, and I also have the principals from Centric Aviation here today that I'd like to bring forward to introduce you to them as well.
Please come forward and state your name for the record.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Tara Malm, and I'm here today with Andrew Hartman. We represent Centric Aviation. We'd like to thank the Board of Commissioners for this opportunity to operate the FBO out at the Apalachicola Airport. We look forward to serving the aviation community and are excited to become part of your local community.
I'm Andrew Hartman.
Yes, so the action item we have is to execute the lease. The lease would start November 1, and if we can get that executed today, that gives them a transition period to kind of get everything mobilized down here, because Crystal Air is vacating the premises, I believe, on the 31st.
So you feel like we can make a transition and continue doing business as normal?
Yeah, that's our plan. I'm going to meet with them this afternoon and go over what inventory items that are there, and also with Randall Terry, who's a major stakeholder out there at the airport, was the former AEC chairman, to see what we can do to assist them in their transition. Hopefully it'll be seamless as possible. Unfortunately, the transition is going to happen during the Seafood Festival weekend, so we're going to be all hands on deck and to make sure that we handle this and present the Apalachicola Airport as best we can.
All right, Mr. Tim.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. We got the big weekend. That's one of our biggest weekend of the year.
Yes, sir.
Seafood Festival.
Yes, sir.
And we need to be
We're going to be ready.
right on time with that.
Yes, sir. We'll be ready.
And another thing I like to ask with them local workers, we got some people. Jobs is what you call jobs in this area. Y'all new down here, but I like to see, and I'm just talking to me, the other commissioners, they'll tell you, I like to see, if you could, keep the local people working as much as you can.
We've actually had some meetings with some of them, both yesterday. We have some set up for today and tomorrow. So we're just going to meet with them just to go over their goals. Obviously, they're very knowledgeable individuals, but we like to invest a little bit more in their training. So that's something that we plan on doing.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Jason, how are we doing with the fly-in that's supposed to be happening?
Well, it was tough to kind of get that going before the Seafood Festival, and to be honest with you, with the amount of traffic we had coming to the Seafood Festival, to try to do a fly-in at the same time would probably be counterproductive.
When are you gonna have it?
We're going to try to do it in the spring, after the first of the year, and that will give us some time to bring in static displays and people that would perform. It's going to take some time. These folks usually have to have 6 to 9 months of notice to get them in here. And I want to use that. I don't want to just have fly-by-night folks come in here. I want to have some really good folks in here that represent the airport, and let's show off the airport for what it is. And it would give them some time as well to kind of get their operations established, so we can put our best foot forward.
Mr. Chairman,
Mm-hmm.
can I just hit on a couple of things real quick? The TDC was hoping that we would be able to fund, help fund the fly-in over here in Apalachicola around the Seafood Festival weekend to bring more people in and bring awareness to our airport over here. And then the spring is always reserved for Carabel with the Camp Gordon Johnston.
Okay.
So I don't want anything to
Understand.
interfere with none of it.
Okay.
And this was the reason why we wanted to do Apalachicola and Carabel.
Okay.
And have it go hand in hand at different times of the year
Sure.
to bring more people in.
Sure, and we can do whatever you
I'm
want to
just-
do
I'm
it.
just saying.
There was just no way for us to do a fly-in that you'd be proud of in the month and a half that we had to prepare.
Let me ask you this question real quick, Jason.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible you could do it in February,
Absolutely.
which is it's kind of a downtime
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
tourism,
Absolutely.
but that's an additional
Sure.
event that would bring people in when
Sure.
things are slow.
Sure.
Because in the spring, everything
Yeah.
starts picking up through the
Yeah.
summer.
Sure.
So would you look at a February
Absolutely.
date that would help?
That would give us enough time to get on people's
Yeah.
schedules and get on their calendars for them to be here.
And most of your motels are kind of slow, so
Sure.
they need a boost. Your restaurants need a boost. So if you would kind of look at that date and not
Perfect.
interfere with March when it's
Yeah,
Perfect.
with
The Camp Gordon Johnson's going on.
And two, if you'll look, December, January, February is your slow month.
Right,
So
right.
anywhere
February would be
in
great.
there.
and that'll give them time to transition, give you time to
Exactly.
get. So
Yeah.
see if we can't do that in February.
Because we want to go hand in hand and bringing the people in.
Sure,
so.
that makes complete sense.
Makes
Absolutely.
good sense.
February.
Okay. Let's get back to where we at here.
I have a lease agreement for you.
One question on the lease agreement, Attorney. You have read the lease agreement and are satisfied with the lease agreement?
Yes, sir. It's pretty much the same lease that we've approved the last couple of times that we've leased out the FBO. As time goes by, we'll get a little bit smarter, make a few improvements, but essentially it's the same lease that we've been approving.
But one difference with this particular group, though, is I understand they're bringing in some of their own capital to invest in the airport, which we've not had. So that's a little bit different shake, and with that, I'll say pleasure of the board.
Motion to approve.
We got a motion, Commissioner Jones?
Motion to approve, yes, sir.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Jones. Second by Commissioner Massey. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Welcome to our community. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next on the agenda would be Mr. Randy Wilkerson, Scambia Housing Program. Please come forward, state your name for the record.
I'm Randy Wilkerson, Director of Housing, Escambia County Housing Finance Authority. I'm pleased to be before you today. I'd like to express my appreciation to Michael for getting us lined up to come over and talk with you. Basically, we operate the first-time home buyers program in 16 counties. At one time, it was operated here in Franklin County. We basically, after the housing crisis of 2007-8, we had to kind of retool everything. We now have got the program essentially back up and running. We're now going back to counties that have expressed an interest in basically bringing the program back to their county. We're doing this with all 16 counties this year, so I've been on the road a good bit. Basically, just for your kind of your edification, the authority's been around since 1982. We provide basically the mortgage financing as well as the down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. First-time home buyers are defined as a person who has not owned a home in the last 3 years, so it doesn't mean that they've never owned a home. We work primarily through lenders. They're our front door in your community. Centennial Bank here has expressed a real strong interest in having the program available to your residents. This program is available along with all other programs. So I know you have a SHIP program. Basically, this doesn't compete with it. It's just available. It's another option. Our income limits are a little bit higher, but the SHIP benefit is a little bit better. So typically a person will select SHIP if they qualify for it. If not, then they'll come and essentially work through our program. I would say that basically probably one of the main points is that we bring the program, we have an administrator, so it's administered through us. There's no cost to you. The down payment assistance we fund through basically through our program. There essentially is no liability to you. We operate the program and essentially make it available through the lenders in your community. What really we need today is a resolution. It's called an area of operation resolution, which basically gives the authority the right to operate the program in your county. It's essentially about a 3-page document. It's the same resolution that all the other counties approve. Basically, this just continues essentially the type of operation that we had in the past. I think with that, maybe I'll try to answer any questions. That might be the better way to go. It's a program I think that's fairly well known, so I don't want to spend a lot of your time going into a lot of the details if you already know them.
I was asked by the local lending institution, as he referenced Centennial Bank, to look at us getting back into this Escambia housing program. We've been in it before.
Correct.
It's to benefit, as he said earlier, in addition to the SHIP program, which we all know runs out of money by about December.
Absolutely.
This gives people a different option. We now have a lending institution in Franklin County that wants to participate, and that's kind of how this subject has been brought up. And as he said, when the bubble burst, things kind of took a downturn, so they kind of slowed down, backed away some, and now that things are looking a little better, Escambia Housing is ready to move forward. As I said, we do have a lending institution here ready to partner with them to provide the services to the people of this community. And I think it's a good program, and I'd like to see the board move forward with that. Any other questions that the board would like to ask?
I'm gonna
this
make a
gentleman?
motion for it, but did they build the houses from ground up?
Basically, this is a mortgage program. Now, a person can do a new home. There's not a prohibition. It's just essentially what we're doing is providing the mortgage financing
Right.
through the lender.
I mean, you can buy a house if you see the house. Okay.
Right. If there's a house there that's for sale, they can use this mortgage program within the limits. I mean, it has income limits, it has maximum purchase price limits, just like the SHIP program does, only they're higher. But essentially, yes, you could buy an existing home that's just been completed. You could buy, a new home that's just been completed. You can buy an existing home that is available on the market.
And that's
Same.
where the lending institution, they already have some people that's been through the program and certified to implement this.
Right.
It gives them another tool
Right.
of trying to help the person obtain their first home or the second home, but they have the down payment assistance for the first home, kind of like our SHIP does, but they have more money.
Right.
We have very limited access or ability to help, but only so many people. So it gives the lending institution another option in trying to work with the different people that want to finance a home. I mean, that's basically the
That's
bottom
exactly-
line.
that's
And it's not
exactly
something we
right.
hadn't
Make a
done
motion
before.
to do it.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Massey, second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion?
Yeah, we belonged to it before, and it's a good program.
Yes, sir.
It's a young lady used to run it, I can't think of her name.
CJ.
Yeah,
CJ Pipkin.
She used to run,
She's retired now.
okay.
We got a good lady running the bank, Cherie.
I know
Okay.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? A motion carries, and somehow I've misplaced the resolution, but we will take care of it for you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next on the agenda, let's see, we've done Ms. Marcia Johnson. Alan Pierce has no report. Next report will be done by Michael Morone. He's probably out to get me a resolution,
John, with his.
a resolution printed up.
You got one right
We
there.
take a bathroom break now?
Yeah, but we got
Mike got
official. Mike, you got any,
You got that resolution.
while we're waiting on Mr. Morone to turn his report?
No, sir, I don't have any action items or report before.
Okay.
Next meeting will be a different.
Now, I had one, I don't know where it went.
Oh, man gave you, he gave you one. Didn't he give you one?
No, shoot,
Hey, Mike,
Be that lucky, huh?
no.
your report is up next.
All right, Commissioners, so we did item 1, we did item 2, item 3. At your October 3rd meeting, Commissioner Sanders requested that staff research how many surrounding counties allow the health department to purchase new vehicles, and then ask the county to register and insure these vehicles. Ms. Whitney Coles, Mark's assistant, checked about 9 counties, and the vehicle count varied from 7 to 17 that were insured and titled as the county's vehicles, but used exclusively by the health department. There was 1 or 2 counties that didn't do it at all, for some reason.
Didn't do it at all?
Yeah, I can't remember. She
We
checked
need
as
to
far,
know- We need to know who they are.
she checked as far as Dixie, she checked Taylor, she
That
did
sounds about right.
some research, so, yeah. I think there was one that didn't have a health department at all. It was kind of strange, that this hybrid situation, that they said it didn't have a true health department.
So they must have had a health department in a neighboring county
Must have.
that they,
Yeah, so it's kind of a strange.
It's sort of like a
situation.
regional type thing.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I want to discuss something on here. Not that we can do anything about the vehicles, but I would like for staff to just contact, I'm gonna make it in the form of a motion, ask staff to contact the health department and ask for them out of courtesy to this board to please notify us when they do purchase a new vehicle, so we can be aware of what they're
Okay.
doing.
So they'll basically come ask your permission before they try to title
Well,
and tag it.
let us know, and justify it.
we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Sanders. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jones. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
All right, so we did item 4, we did item 5. Item 6, Commissioner Jones asked that I get an estimate to expand the capabilities of our permitting software that would allow staff to track any and all activities related to lots in the unincorporated areas of the county. These activities would include permits, planning and zoning, and/or Board of Adjustment decisions, complaints, and other miscellaneous items. The creation of this module would allow staff to spend less time searching planning and zoning or Board of Adjustment minutes for approvals or denials, create a central database for complaints or issues such as zoning or other violations with, here, really? With particular lots, and reduce the possibility for errors regarding permits, as in that dock permit this morning. The upfront cost to create this module is $2,500 with a monthly cost of $99. The billing department can absorb the $99 monthly fee, but didn't budget for the upfront $2,500 setup fee. Board action, if you do decide to approve this new module, with the upfront cost being paid from the professional services account. The finance office stated that there is a sufficient amount of funds in that account to cover the one-time $2,500 fee. So basically, we're gonna be, it makes us a lot more efficient, commissioners. I mean, once you put in a lot, everything about that lot will come up on this, on your screen, and you can see what was done or what wasn't done, you know, and just get, even to simple complaints about the lot, you'll see those too.
Such as the error that was made a while ago when they referenced, they
Yeah.
permitted one lot, but subsequently that was moved to the next lot.
I like the
That
idea.
would help all of
myself.
that.
I make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Massey, second by Commissioner Sanders to move forward with that. Any further
I do
discussion?
have something I want to add to what Mr. Roman said. Now, this, however they want to do it's fine, but I had told him, when talking to him about it, that I think it would not be in our best interest to try to do everything backwards. and put in that software,
Yeah.
but from whenever we start forward, you know what I mean? So just to clarify,
And I will say, if we have idle
Idle time.
I will ask the girls, it might not be the right word, but I'll ask the girls to go back and start, going backwards year by year and entering that information. So at some point in the future, it'll be a full database of whatever we have.
Well, and if you get considering this, there is a lot of permits that has a year, you have a year to do it. Well, that would kind of kick in there.
There you go.
Some permits, as you saying just a while ago, 2012, they were issued a
Yeah.
permit, and now they're just using the 2012 permit. So to me, that's a good
It'll
idea.
pop up like deadlines and stuff, okay, good.
Any other discussion on that issue? You got a comment you want to make?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Commissioners. Alan Pfeiffer, Concerned Citizens, Franklin County. Is this a cloud-based system, or will
Cloud-based.
does the, I've had this issue with other companies. If you stop using them, you don't own the data. And this needs to be in the contract that the county owns its own data, and that if you ever decided to change, you have a way to download all the information so that you don't lose it. I've ran into that problem. It's really bad.
Our attorney was very, very diligent in making sure.
He's a good attorney. I expect no less.
I keep repeating that, but I guess so.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. We do have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Proceed.
Item number 7, inform the board we have received the contract from the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services for the remaining funds, which is up to $184,299.29 from our Agriculture Education and Promotional Facility Grant. These funds will be used for the renovation of the Robert Howell, that's what I've been told it's called, building, which is the former headquarters of the FDEP, Apalachicola National Estuarine Research Reserve, to house the UF-IFAS Franklin County Extension Office. Attorney Schuler has reviewed the contract. Board action to authorize the chairman's signature on the DAX contract. This is the money to fix the building so Eric could move down.
Now, they're still planning on partnering with DEP?
Yes, they have half the building. He only has half the building. DEP has the other half. They have their own plans to use
Okay.
the building.
Pleasure of the board.
motion to approve.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Jones, second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 8, inform the board that I've submitted a FWC Bearwise funding grant. As in the same manner as last year's grant, the county will receive funding for retrofit kits for residents' trash containers in the East Point area. These kits are easy to install, will not add any cost to the residents' trash pickup monthly bill, and do not pose a problem for the residents or Waste Pro's use of the container. This grant will also include funding for the replacement of at least 10% of the cans that are being retrofitted if they are destroyed. The county solid waste staff will assist with the installation of half of these retrofit kits, which will count as the county's match for the grant. Now, if you notice, what's new this year is that 10% of those trash cans, because what we found out from Waste Pro is that sometimes the bear gets really, really, really angry, and he just shreds the can apart. So they then in turn have to pay to replace that can, and that was becoming a problem from the last year project. So
Okay.
I'll give you guys a little update on that. Okay, item number 9. The 2018 legislative session will start earlier this year, which is on Tuesday, January 9th, 2018. So we've received the budget request form for the local funding initiative request, also known as the Community Development Grant, from Senator Mumford's office. Senator Mumford's office has asked that the county and city governments combine and rank each budget request in one priority order. Rather than having the chairman and the mayors of each of the cities sit down and agree to a ranking order, I asked Ms. Marsha Mathis, Senator Mumford's legislative aide, to consider accepting one project from the county and one from each of the cities, and have the senator's staff rank the projects, which she agreed to. Hopefully, the projects will be ranked based on how many residents each project will benefit. I recommend submitting funding requests for the Fort Coombs Armory Sprinkler System as the county's project. During the October 2nd legislative delegation meeting, Commissioner Sanders, in a very passionate manner, stated the importance of the Armory to Franklin County residents and visitors alike, and the need to install a fire sprinkler system based on the state's fire marshal requirement. I am sure Commissioner Sanders got the attention of Senator Mumford and Representative Beshears. Board discussion, and Possible action, authorizing staff to submit a request to fund a fire sprinkler system for the Fort Coombs Armory. I said a mouthful there. But it's changed. Usually, in the past, it would be the county would send 3 requests, and each city would send 3 requests. They're saying there's a budget restraint, so they wanted the county and the 2 cities to get together, and that, it's a lot easier if everybody sends one, and then let the staff decide based on what they have in front of them, you know, what's gonna benefit the county as to which way they rank the projects. And I got her to agree to that.
Mr. Chairman, I basically told him that that was our, you know, top of the line request was that right there, because without that, I reminded them that it was, you know, we designated many years ago the county's convention center, so they were real wanting to listen to us about it and try to see if we can do something about it, so.
The pleasure of the board is to ranking that #1 project.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we make the armory, the sprinkler system, the #1 request.
Have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sanders. Any further discussion? All
Yeah.
those in,
Go ahead.
you have discussion before we call for the vote?
No, I just wonder how many requests they gonna let Joe Taylor.
Oh, I don't know that. We do have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor? All opposed? That motion carries. Now, real quickly on that issue, and I'll try not to elaborate too much. On this sprinkler system, I've talked to Mark Carrington, talked to Alan, and I'm thinking about submitting a budget request through Triumph to finish the armory. For the sprinkler system, to have the inside painted, to have the floor redone, for the landscaping, and submitting one budget proposal to finish up the armor.
And be done with it.
And be done with it. Now, the pleasure of the board on that issue, do you think that's a good thing to do or not to do? Also, Mike, I started to wait till your next thing.
Yeah, that segues. It's a perfect segue.
I'll stop right there and let Mike go on to item number 10.
It is perfect. Item number 10, inform the board that Chairman Parrish has notified the city of Apalachicola, the city of Carabel, and the school board district to submit pre-applications for Triumph funding to the Board of County Commissioners as required by the Triumph Board. These pre-applications will be reviewed and discussed by the Board of County Commissioners at their November 7th, at our November 7th meeting that starts at 9 a.m. And I know Attorney Schuler have to advertise a time specific. I just wanted to talk to Mr. Pierce about that before I did. So I will run an ad for time specific on that.
Okay, Michael, if the agenda on the 7th is gonna look like the agenda today,
No, sir.
make it for the next make it for that afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because we've really been shoving here today, and
Yeah.
so anyway, all right. So if we have to get a time certain, you work with the attorney, and if it looks like we're gonna have a long agenda that day, put it in for 1:30. Okay, now, as it refers to item number 10, and it says the chairman informed the city of Appalachia, city of Carabel, and the school board district. That is a requirement by Triumph, that each of these entities, including the school board, are eligible to apply to Triumph for a project. The school, I think, is trying to do a STEM program, which the Triumph board is really gung-ho on, science, technology, and creating a program there. But they also have sustainability of that program. So if you apply to Triumph for a program, then you have to be able to sustain that program once the funds are gone. They're not gonna give you the funds to start a program when the funds are gone, the program ends. So once they give you the funds to start a program, then the school has to figure out how they're gonna sustain that program. That is their problem. The same way with the 2 cities. If they got a program going and they say it's gonna create 100 jobs, well, you best create 100 jobs. If you don't, there's a clawback measure within Triumph, well, you have to repay that money. So you have to be very careful when you're writing these grants and trying to get money.